Hi, ladies. Welcome to week one. This is our meet and greet, but I know some of you weren't able to attend. So what I'm going to do is share what we actually covered. So let's get started. Alrighty, this is what we started with last
week. Fat's no good. Fat's no good. Don't want fat in my diet.
We have lived a lie for 50 years. It's not an accident that people are hooked on all this processed garbage.
Having the federal government get behind the low-fat diet changed vastly the food system.
Suddenly now we're eating a carbohydrate-based diet.
You might as well be eating a bowl full of sugar.
The one question I wish every single doctor would ask is, what are you eating?
Maple and brown sugar, heart healthy. You know that can't be right?
What powers the brain far more efficiently is fat.
We need to get back into the kitchen.
So we're going to add more fat to the diet. I mean, good, natural fat.
Coronary artery disease.
I have asthma.
Type 2 diabetes.
She has epilepsy.
Autism.
High cholesterol. Cancer.
So when we get rid of refined sugars, refined grains, refined vegetable oils, processed foods, it's basically meat and vegetables. We might be able to influence a variety of organ systems through one intervention.
This is in industry.
There are powerful vested interests.
This will seriously harm our profession.
Pharmaceutical companies are profiting from this. Weight loss industry is profiting from this. Undertakers are making out like bandits.
Cancer cells depend on glucose as a source of fuel.
I am really going to do this. I am going to do this. I started this new way of eating today.
I have no idea how we're going to do it. The first 5 days, she starved herself.
15 for 20. I almost fell over on my chair. Literally jumping up and down. And she's not seizing.
When my tumor started shrinking, the possibility is that she could cure her diabetes with food.
No more inhaler.
Cheers.
It's time to figure this out for my confidence. And maybe we'll talk.
I have faith in bigger, better things, man.
Okay, so that is going to be part of your homework to watch. Well, I would encourage you to watch that movie. So let me go ahead and get out of here. So let's go, ladies, to week one. What is this all about? Let me go ahead and open this up in here. Well, week one basically is going to be meet and greet, kind of. If you weren't able to meet with us in person, then this is what your first week looks like. Our class objectives here, and you don't really need to see me, but here I am. Class objectives is, what to expect in your 8-week journey. This is going to be 8 weeks, and you will see here in the keto group class, you go to the group class. What you're going to see is it's pretty much all laid out for you, what we're going to be covering, the dates we're going to be meeting, what to expect, your accountability partners. There's a big gap between the 6th and the 20th. The second week, you're going to be ready to go. By the time week 2, it's like, let's do this. Let's get this thing going. Because the first week is really getting, really almost 2 weeks, you're getting your mindset, you're doing shopping, and we're going to go over that today. And we're going to go through doing this, some healthy food swaps, how to figure out what food you should eat, how many calories. We're going to calculate that. We're going to show you what are some simple strategies so that you don't get sick, you don't feel like you're stuck. There's so many different ways to do this, but we're going to do this the lady way. So week 3 is just about myths. Lots of, fat is bad, cholesterol is bad, cholesterol clogs your arteries. We hear that so much. You eat so much meat in keto. I mean, there's a lot of myths and a lot of misunderstanding. A lot of people don't even really know what keto is. So you're going to be learning that, learning about your why, and why are a lot of people that end up doing keto? It's because it's for health reasons, it's for weight loss reasons, and they continue to have the same problem all the time, you know? So we're going to talk about that, and really to break through any plateaus, any challenges, especially in our head, because it's very much connected to how we eat and how our body responds to food. Getting into fat burning, eating fat to burn, to train your body to use that as main fuel source. But then we're going to get to a point where you don't have to eat as much fat, and your body's going to be adapted to fat. So we are going to talk about that. How do you know if your body's fat burning? And finding out how many carbs does your body do well on? You know, typical ketogenic diet is 20 grams of carbs, and that's it. That's like an apple a day, and no vegetables. Vegetables have carbs as well. So we are going to get into that. We're going to talk about how can you use this to help balance your hormones. How can you do it for if you have gut issues, if you have thyroid issues, sleep, because there's a lot of people with sleep issues. And how do you make this a lifestyle? Because there's so many eating plans out there. Like for me, vegetarianism, that's not a sustainable lifestyle. I know there's some people out there that are vegetarians. I did that. That made me so sick. And almost every single vegetarian that I know, they don't look that healthy. I mean, unless you are dedicating your entire time to doing that, that's what you do for a living, but that's not realistically. We're going to talk about detox and what about strategies when you're traveling and so forth. So during this class, I will be taking a trip. I will be out of the country, so it'll be kind of fun to share that with you. So by the time you're done, you're going to feel really confident. You're going to be able to explain what is keto, why am I doing this? And it's not so much to having to defend yourself like, I'm doing this because it's like, I'm doing this because I want to, not because somebody else is telling you to do it. And you'll know when it's time to kind of move, kind of change your strategies around, because when you start eating this way, it changes. It's going to be different than 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, a year from now. Kind of like when you're in a relationship, when you get married, in the beginning, it's like all exciting, and a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, and people 10 years later, it's just like what they did first in their relationship is so different, you know, years later. Well, our body's changing all the time. It's like a bank account. It's changing all the time. So we have to, so we got to change. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through a little bit of week 1. You know, that's a little bit about our 8-week of our objective, meeting your accountability partners. If you haven't logged into our Facebook account, please do so. That's where you want to connect with people. And I always tell people, you get what you put into this program. You can't expect just things to happen for you. Everything requires effort. You know, this is really simple. It may not be easy, but it's simple. It's just you follow certain things and it's going to work. There's strategies for everything out there. There's answers for everything out there. So stay connected. And, you know, get in there, ask questions, be proactive. You know, in Facebook, in the page, it's like, you know, post recipes, post anything that's keto related, post anything that maybe you're having a challenge with. So when you go into week 1 right here, this is, you're going to have documents, and every week is going to be different, or some is going to be more handouts, some are going to be more video, some are going to be audio. So it's going to be changing around. So here we have a little bit about what the ketogenic diet is. It's a high fat, low carb, moderate protein diet. This is where your body uses fat as fuel. We teach your body how to use fat as fuel instead of sugar as fuel, because many of us are using sugar as fuel. That's why we're always hungry. That's why we get hangry. That's why we are gaining weight. That's why we have inflammation. And that's why we look older than we really are. So it's really cool when you get into the ketogenic diet, because 1, there's less sugar craving. 2, there's more energy. 3, there's fat loss. There's reduced inflammation. So that means there's less pain. There's anti-aging as a result of less inflammation. There's mental clarity. Your brain just feels sharp, you're minimizing the risk for all these other chronic diseases, because most of the time, as I said, people get into the ketogenic diet because of their overweight. And we know that when you carry extra fat in the body, the susceptibility, your chances of getting cancer increase tremendously. So fat is very inflammatory. So this is, one of the documents that we do have in there. The other one is, this is going to be great. I want you to complete this and fill this out. What are your, finding out what your body type is. Are you a thyroid body type? Are you an adrenal body type? Are you an ovary body type? So I think we have a mixed up here. Okay. Discover your, here it is. Okay, discover your hormonal body type. So basically, what does that mean? Calories in is not equal calories out to lose weight. A person loses weight or gets healthy based on their hormones. And if your hormones are all wonky, they're all off, it's going to be really hard to get healthy, and it's going to be really hard to drop the weight. Hormones, I mean, they control literally everything. I mean, you've got so many hormones, from insulin to your thyroid hormone. You've got adrenal hormones. You've got your sex hormones, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, growth hormone. You've got insulin. You have insulin growth-like factor. You've got a lot of different hormones, and they're always talking to each other, and they speed up and slow things down. That is affected by the food that you eat. So calories in does not equal calories out. It's the type of calories, and we're going to get into that on second week. So what I want you to do here is discover your body type. There are basically 4 types. And figure out where you are. Are you more of the adrenal, which is, this is thyroid, this is liver, this is adrenal, and this is ovarian. So you figure out which one are you, and you don't have to on this first week, but we are going to get into it later on when we talk hormones. I have all this here so you can kind of figure out which body type you are. If you have digestive issues, go ahead and finish filling these out, because it'll tell you specifically what part of your, no, I wouldn't say specifically because only testing can tell that, but there's different parts of your digestive system that could be affected, and we can at least support it, while we're doing this plan. So this is pretty cool. Go in there. It's pretty, it's the closest to testing your body. So then we have strategies. So here's helpful strategies when you figure out your body type. Are you thyroid? Are you liver? I always say for thyroid, one significant thing people know, they're like, yeah, I had part of my thyroid taken out, or I have Hashimoto's. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're definitely a thyroid body type. This is what an eating plan looks like best for you right now. They do really well with higher veggies, lower animal proteins, so they do better with plant-based proteins. Even though the ketogenic diet is not super high fat, high protein, it's still anywhere, it's going to be less than 100 grams. For some people, it could be 60 to 70 grams. So that'll give you an idea. And what does that look like? A burger. That's about 20 grams of protein. So this person does better with short, intense workouts. The thyroid person, these are some of the testing, emotional connections, because there's a whole part to why we get sick as well. There's a lot of emotional connections. But once again, all this, we're going to get into more details. I just did put this ahead of time so that in addition to the basic, there's 3 products that I said I really want you to get. You can get these other ones here. You don't necessarily have to. We will get into the details of that. And then the same thing here with GI health strategies. There are certain products that you can take, and we will get into that. So this is really a cool breakdown of your body type strategy. So let me break this down here. Okay, so now your shopping list and resources, what does that look like? Well, 60 to 75% of your diet is going to be healthy fats, oils, and non-starchy veggies. So, let and put the veggies there. So anyways, what does that look like? You have your vegetables, you have your healthy animal fats, you have your cooking oils, and you want to make sure that you keep it within these parameters. You don't want to go get like canola oil. You don't want to get vegetable oil. Look for these. These are the ones that are going to be less toxic to your body. Quality is everything. I always say, spend the money, invest the money on good food. And it's not that hard to do. There's a lot of inexpensive ways to get it. Go to the big boxes like Costco, like Sam's Club. They have a lot of organic. There's farmers markets. There's farms that are local farms that you can get, you know, pretty inexpensive. So we have a list here of all the different vegetables. So I would really take a look at this. You're not going to be hungry. I promise you will not be hungry during the ketogenic eating plan. That is one of the most liberating things, is that you're not hungry, you don't get hangry, and you just feel amazing. So I can't wait for you to get into that. 15 to 20% of your diet, well, it looks like your protein. Here's your animal protein, your beef, your chicken, your duck, pork, turkey, wild game. I don't know, why didn't we put eggs in there? Where are eggs? Well, eggs are over here, and some of the animal fats as well. So, but this is where a lot of your protein is. And of course, the protein does have fat. Your bison has a higher amount of fat. Other things here is berries. Mostly all your berries are pretty low fat. So there's going to be pretty low carbs. So you're going to do really well. Citrus, green apples, berries, pears in small amounts. Legumes, green beans, and green peas. So what you want to avoid, here's everything we don't want, is the soda, the alcohol, the beans, the legumes, and the legumes, even I would say peanut butter, because peanut butter is very moldy, and I really would prefer people not to have that. If they do, I'm like, well, at least get to the organic. So yeah, no refined sugar, no alcohol, refined vegetable oils, canola, corn, cottonseed, partially hydrogenated. So that's where reading labels comes in. And what's going to be your friend, especially those first few weeks, until you get into being fat adapted, it's going to be bone broth. So it could be bone broth, chicken, it could be beef, and there's even fish bone broth, okay? So here's your shopping list. I'm just like, here's a quick sheet. If you could only take one, I would say, here it is. It's right here. I call it the Keto Diet Quick Sheet Shopping List. So it's right here. Just look at that, and you can print page 3 out and take it with you. You can also get things online. It's really easy to do this. I mean, there's no reason why we can't. Everything is now available at our fingertips. You can even call some of these stores or place an order, and then they just bring it to you, to your car. So Thrive Market and Amazon, there's a lot of non-perishable. For meats, there's Butcher Box, grass-on beef, Vital Choice, some of the local stores from Smith's, Trader Joe's, even Albertsons, Sprouts, Whole Food, Mother's. There's a lot of stores out there that carry all this. Your websites, there's a lot of awesome recipes. I am going to provide some recipes during the first 4 weeks. They're meal plans, but I want you to get accustomed to kind of creating your own meal plans, but you are going to have some to kind of go off of and work off of. So these are awesome websites that have some pretty cool recipes. So one of the things I do is you can even Google, like put in keto recipes, keto, like for me, I put keto dairy-free cookies, keto dairy-free smoothies, because I don't do well with dairy products. And that's something you're going to have to find out if you do well with it or not. You've got to make sure that you get grass-fed. If you're doing any of the cheeses, it's got to come from grass-fed cows. So that's something that you really have to look for. And here are just some pictures. What does some of this food look like? Because this is all new to you. So it's like, I don't even know what it looks like. You're going shopping at a store and you have no clue. So I'm giving you some visuals. This is I love, love, love Applegate. They have cold cuts, they have bacon, they have all kinds of stuff, So one of my favorite choices to go with or brands are Applegate. So I have just examples. So you have images here. This you can get on our dispensary. This you can get on Amazon. It might be 25 bucks. This Primal Kitchen Mayo, you can Google it, or you can go to Thrive Market and get it as well. It's the best. It's about 10 bucks for it, but I promise it's the best. It doesn't have hydrogenated oils or anything. MCT oil is another one. It's going to help you get your fat. It's going to boost your brain health as well. This is what coconut butter looks like. So yeah, I just wanted to provide you with some images. Grass-fed ghee is basically butter without the casein. You got chia seeds, coconut flakes. You know, there's a lot that you get to have, and so there's a lot of different pictures in here. Okay, so I thought that was helpful for a lot of people from our past classes. So let's look at what I think you should have before you start. I'm only asking that the minimum that you have are 3 things. And if you don't have a gallbladder, maybe adding the 4th is going to be your best friend. One is digestion support. I believe that we've got to be able to break down and digest the food properly in order for us to extract enough minerals and vitamins from it. That's where the digestive enzymes with hydrochloric acid. Not only that, we want to make sure that your food is digested in the smallest bits of pieces, because when you're not digesting your food right and it's in big chunks, that does create an inflammatory response in your digestive tract, and you end up having a lot of problems, which we're going to talk about later on in one of the classes. Second one is a liver cleanse. So because the liver plays an important role in detoxing the body, it also metabolizes your estrogen. That's where fat burning hormones are synthesized, are made. It's really important that you're taking some sort of liver support. So I want to make sure that you're doing that. Third one is mineral support. This is really, 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 really important, because I don't want you getting cramps. I don't want you getting heart palpitations. I don't want your sleep to be off. I want you to add trace minerals, because when you go low carb, you're going to lose a lot of water. So that's when people start keto. There's a lot of people that lose a lot of water weight in the first week. Some lose up to 5, 7, even 10 pounds in the first week of doing this, but it's just all water weight. So when you're losing that much water, electrolytes go with it, and no, Gatorade is not your friend. So trace mineral research, they have some tablets, so you can take 3 of them. Sometimes you may have to take 6 of them. I sometimes still have to take them because I was getting cramps, and so I do that. But even salting your water. So those are the 3. And if you are, you can get ox bile if you don't have a gallbladder, because that's going to be really helping you a lot. Most people do really well with this that have had their gallbladder removed. So what do you need for your kitchen? As I mentioned, I think if you have avocado oil, Bragg's apple cider vinegar, you drink a little bit in the morning, put a tablespoon in water, sip it. It's great for curbing your cravings, make a hot tea out of it. Chia seeds, coconut flakes, coconut oil, Kerrygold butter, MCT oil, sea salt, and mayo. I think these are basics that you should have in your kitchen, and it's going to be, it's just, I think there's something that everyone that's doing keto should have. So I did want to start that with you. So a couple more things before I give you your, we talk about portion size, so make sure you watch that video. What you should have is here. I have a list here of frequently asked questions that I get a lot by women, so I thought I put that in there. What exactly is the keto diet? What are macros? One of the things we're going to talk about week 2 is about the macros and exactly what they are. How do I count them? Because we are going to count them for probably just about 4 weeks, and then you learn how to intuitively kind of do this. You know, you're not going to be counting calories and points and all that all the time. So we're going to talk about that. If you don't eat your entire meal, then just do your best. You know, what if you're so hungry? Put some more fat, eat more fat. And if you're full and you haven't eaten, just do the best that you can. You know, I'm going to give you some parameters to work with when we figure out what your body needs. And then we have a picture here of some of the serving sizes, because you go to different restaurants and they supersize everything. So you'll have an idea here from a deck of cards to what a cup looks like, what do 2 tablespoons look like. Yeah, I want you to go through this and probably take you 5 minutes to read through this, okay? So other things that, so that was your frequently asked questions. I think what I want you to do and complete, and you remember to watch the portion size videos. You also should be getting a handout with, you're going to take your measurements, and it has room for all sorts of measurements. The only 3 I want you to take is around your bust, around your waist, and the largest part around your hips. Those are the only 3, and you weigh yourself. You don't have to weigh yourself every single week. You can if you want. For some people, it's discouraging. I was just talking to a client today, and they told me that, you know, I'm so glad I didn't weigh myself because I've only lost about 8 pounds, but I've dropped like 4 dress sizes. That's insane, right? She only dropped like 8 pounds, but 4 dress sizes, that's a lot. Her body took on a different shape. So that was pretty cool. So what your mini assignment's going to be is, number 1, make sure that you complete your hormone checklist and you buy the 3 recommended products. Go onto our dispensary and log yourself in. You're going to get a discount on that. It's probably the cheapest that you'll find. I don't think Amazon can even beat the prices there. And I want you to buy those 3 and figure out if you want to get additional hormonal support, go for it. If you don't worry about it. We'll do that later. Second thing is, I want you to write, why are you doing this? Write a story as to why you're doing this. As you're writing a story to yourself, you could be writing it to a friend. You could be writing it to a loved one. It's like, the reason I'm doing keto is because, write your story. Why are you doing this? When I first wanted to do this, or started, you know, I kind of naturally progressed, but really started getting into this, is because I felt like I just had this addiction to food all my life, you know? I was always looking for paleo cookies, paleo breads, but they were all still high carbs, and I was still just craving sugar and sweets all the time. My body wasn't really completely fat adapted. So the whole goal is to get your body fat adapted, doing keto, and let your brain be so lit up, your energy, decrease the inflammation, and cut that love-hate relationship that you have with food and that obsession. So that is why, you know, we want to do this. And that's the whole point of keto. So you've got a little bit of homework to do. So I'm going to encourage you to go ahead and do that. And let's see if I can get out of here. That's where we are with all that. So I hope that helps a little bit. I can't wait for the second week, where we're actually going to get into more of the eating plans. So enjoy this, have fun, okay? And I will catch you on the next video. See ya, bye.